Great. Well, you've been playing another bit of Digital Eclipse stuff. You did get
Yeah,
the we did get the review code for this. We anticipate getting the review code probably an hour after this podcast
yeah,
goes. So you ended up
yeah.
picking it up yourself. That's the disclaimer. We had the review code for the previous one. Anyway, so yeah, you've been reviewing Digital Eclipse's latest project, something that
Oh my
I'm
god.
very much looking forward to as well.
Oh my god. It's what it's the Gold Master Series Volume 3, Tetris Forever.
Oh,
Jesus
sure
man.
is.
Um I'm just going Tetris um Tetris is almost emotional for me in a way. It's
Yeah,
so it's so much for me, and it's just like I think about it's something that's kind of it's almost like a drug for me in a positive way. It's like when the brain meds don't work, Tetris can kind of fill in the gaps, kind of thing. Like it really is a comfort game, and it's always been there for me.
sure.
And I don't, to me, Tetris is the video game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a video game that's ever been as close to perfect as Tetris has ever been. It doesn't have any story. It doesn't have any
It's just
character.
pure,
Almost, it is
pure game,
gameplay,
pure gameplay. It's
and it's just like it's easy to just it's anyone can play it. It doesn't really matter like who
it's the
you
easiest game to
are.
understand. It's the
It's easy.
easiest game to understand.
I've never read a Tetris instruction manual in my life, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like A plus Tetris player over here. It's just
Mhm.
so like Tetris Forever when that was announced, I was like, Tetris has one of the most interesting stories of all time. Because this is a game created in the Soviet Union
Yeah,
during a time where it's like they couldn't own this thing. So
sure.
like, so you're going deep into the weeds of it because last year there was that movie that did a really good
Yeah,
job
yeah.
of doing it. And there's been some good documentary stuff, but it's here's the thing: the two most important figures in Tetris are Alexei
Yep.
and
Legit enough.
Hank.
Yeah.
Um, and they're both extremely charming men, very good storytellers, and I just love to sit and listen to them. And
Hmm.
Alexei loves to tell you about Tetris, and
Which is
Hank,
great. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and Hank Rogers loves to tell you about Tetris, and uh, they're all over this thing. The documentary footage does leaves no stone unturned.
Great.
It has footage in it that will blow your mind because Hank Rogers videotaped so much.
That's the
Like
way to do it. There you go. Yeah.
you see that he's videotaping himself in the Soviet Union on his blind trip to try and secure the handheld rights to Tetris, like going to the Elrog Corporation, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's a government building that he's just there on like a visiting visa. He's not allowed in government buildings, but son, if he's gonna do it, and he's videotaping everything. There's a 2 or 3 minute video of him
Hmm.
visiting Nintendo of America in
In this,
1988 in this.
that's cool.
And
That's
so it's
cool.
this 3 minute video of him like videotaping inside Nintendo of America talking to very important men at Nintendo and like showing like the ground floor and all of the stuff that they're showing in the Nintendo Power section and
Yep.
the call in. I forget what they called the people back then for
Hmm.
the Nintendo support team stuff. Like it's wild to see it. Like it's just three, and
Hmm.
there's like footage of them walking around like the Europe Computer Gaming Expo 1988, and there's CES footage from the
Oh,
80s and
cool.
stuff. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's so much cool footage here. It's like I want more of this. Like they really want God bless you, Hank. That they've done the best about dealing with people that have kept like a lot of the stuff around, because like, okay, volume 1 was Karateka. You have Mechner, and Mechner has notorious for keeping journals. He has everything about the making of Karateka saved. So it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then you had Minter in volume 2, which like there is no independent game scene without Minter, I think. Like Minter is the heart and soul. Like every independent developer like
owes him
owes him
owes him a royalty.
A little bit of his soul exists in every single independent developer that exists today, and he keeps meticulous notes, and he loves video games still to this day, and he just wants to talk about them. And these two are the exact same way. They've clearly kept a lot of stuff around. And so like the documentary stuff is just second to none. Definitely my favorite of the three four if you include Atari. It's not part of this franchise, but its layout is exactly the same. It's the prototype for what was to come. It's easily the best the video footage. It doesn't have some of the same kind of uniqueness that some of the other ones have. There's some interesting the other ones have some interesting non-video stuff that goes through there, but this one doesn't really have that. It's mostly video and photos. One of the things that I appreciate, so I'm going to get away from that, and I guess now you have to sort of talk about the game part of it.
Yeah, please.
It's an incredibly interesting compilation of games because there at no point in this collection is what you would consider the Tetris game. They knew there was no way they were going to put like the main Tetris games on this thing. It just wasn't going to happen. So they did the cool thing where they just kind of really pick like the Tetris games that have no home. And some interesting curiosities. Okay, so the main event on this particular one is the Tetris Time Warp game.
Time Warp, which we're seeing there,
Seeing here, and it's unique to this package. It's its own standalone Tetris game. It plays like Tetris. It sounds like Tetris, except there are special pieces that will send you back in time, where you will play a little brief snippet of sort of like a modified version of a particular Tetris game, and like here's 1982 Tetris, or that kind of thing. It's an interesting game. I think it's supposed to be there, sort of like it's because all of these games have like a brand new inspired by game on them. So it's good. It's not great. Even they say, like I saw on Twitter today, or Blue Sky actually today, that's like Tetris Time Warp is a living game. We are going to take, they're going to listen to people's opinions on it and adjust it as they see fit. So that's interesting. What it has is one of the things it has going for it has what would be really the original Tetris game. The one that Alexei himself sort of programmed on the Electronica 60, which is like a Russian computer that like nobody here knows what an Electronica 60 is. It doesn't it's not his original game. It is a meticulously recreated version of that game, and I've never played it before. It's really kind of interesting to see how.
I don't think anybody's played that original.
So it's really interesting to see, to see how the same Tetris is. The only thing that's sort of changed is like, obviously physics and stuff, but like the scoring system has been evolved throughout the years and stuff. So like it's interesting. And then like I'm just gonna go through it because not that many games on it. So you got that. You've got the MS-DOS version of Tetris from 1986, which is really good. It's really good. Sort of. It's sort of an adaptation of the original Electronica 60 Tetris. You have a Go game that. Okay, so this is what Hank Rogers goes into like excruciating detail about getting how he got
Mhm.
the Go game made. I love Hank, man. He's such a
Yeah. It's
fun
really
guy.
good.
Like he went to the Nintendo, like he faxed the Nintendo president himself saying, I can get a Go game
Hmm.
made, because there was like a 9x9 Go game that was out on
Uh-huh.
PC that he was going to license and bring it to the Famicom. And like, it's how he got in with Nintendo. Like because he loved the game of Go, and so he would like he formed a friendship with the president of Nintendo at the Nintendo of Japan at the time over Go. And like how he got into Nintendo publishing was he didn't really like, the Nintendo president didn't really like the final product that they got because it was too easy,
Huh.
but he did pay $300,000 for it.
Wild.
So Hank was like, well, how about I give you $1 for every unit of Go that I sell? And he said,
Hmm.
deal. And he's like, and that's basically how he became a Nintendo publisher.
That's wild.
Uh,
That's wild.
and so that Go game is in here.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and then you have the Spectrum Holobyte 1988 MS-DOS
Mm.
version of Tetris, which is like the first like American
Yeah.
Tetris. And then you have the Apple II version of the same game,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the Famicom Tetris, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not NES Tetris and it's not Tengen Tetris. It
Hmm.
is the Famicom Tetris.
Hmm.
It has a weird control scheme that I hate, that they let you change to be more modern.
That's good.
By default, it's the crappy control scheme where it's like, oh no, you have to use this like control pad to flip, and the buttons hard drop, and it's just a whole mess of garbage. I hate it. Then it has Famicom version of Hatris, the Game Boy version of Hatris, and then you got Tetris 2 and Bomb Bliss, the NES version of Hatris,
Uh-huh.
Super Tetris 2 and Bomb Bliss, Tetris Battle Gaiden, which is a 2-player Tetris game for the Super Famicom. It's all Super Famicom games. There's only like 2 American like NES games on here.
Awesome. That's great
And
for
stuff.
like fans.
It's
Yeah.
so like there's not really like
Mhm.
outside of like the originals, sort of like MS-DOS, Apple II, and his original. Nothing else is what you would consider a normal Tetris game. It's all Bomb Bliss and Tetris 2
Tetris.
and Hatris and Super Bomb Bliss Deluxe for the Game Boy, and it's
Yeah.
it's all of these sort of parts of Tetris history that have nowhere else to go, because there is no universe where you sell Bomb Bliss nowadays or Tetris, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they don't exist anywhere else. Nintendo's not going to put them on their little, that you're not going to get Bomb Bliss on, Switch Online or whatever. This is the perfect thing to sort of complement what they know is some of the better versions of Tetris that exist are already available in various different forms. Like in the documentary, Alexi says that the Game Boy version of Tetris is the second best version of Tetris. The best version of Tetris is his original Tetris because he made it. And so
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Here, let's see. I got to share this real quick. Let's see if I can remember how to stinking do this nonsense. While we're here, let's see. Present, share screen, window. Yeah, let's share this. Yeah. There's my autographed Tetris Ultimate poster from Alexi, and there's a photo of me with Alexi at PAX 2014.
Wow, 10 years ago. Pre-beard JJ. Pre-beard JJ. Rest in peace, Alexi. No, he's still alive. Okay, good. Your curse doesn't extend to video games. So that's
developers are
exempt.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I was very excited to meet Alexi here. He had a fun panel. Tetris Ultimate was just about to come out, which is not a particularly great version of Tetris, but it's cool, man. Alexi's still chugging along. Him and Hank still good friends. Like through all of the troubles early on with Tetris, it's nice to see that like an IP
Mhm.
living with its creator. Like you're so used to like the IP being ripped away from the
Sure.
creator, and despite Tetris being like people just making Tetris, like you can't stop people anymore from just
Yeah.
making Tetris, but like it doesn't stop him from making more Tetris and a different Tetris and licensing out Tetris. And an officially licensed Tetris game is always going to be a killer, way
Mhm.
better than some sort of like generic Apple iStore nonsense or whatever. So this is such a delight of a compilation. Like again, it's one of those things where the games aren't like the best part of the collection. I think Hatris is a fun game. It's just really slow for
Mhm.
Tetris game.
You
don't
can
really
find
get to play it.
Tetris. You can find Tetris, a version of Tetris anywhere. You can find it on your phone. You
Yeah.
can find like 18 versions on the Switch or
Yeah.
on any other gaming device.
I'm trying to think on
Tetris
the
99.
I'm trying to think on the
Tetris Effect.
Switch. On the Switch, I have Tetris 99 and both Tetris and Puyo games.
Okay,
On
yeah,
top
yeah.
of the fact
Yeah.
that the Game Boy version of Tetris is on the Nintendo Switch Online, I'm
Yes, that
pretty
as well.
sure.
Yeah, it is.
And then,
Yeah.
like on my PC,
Yeah.
yes, on my Steam Deck, I have Tetris Effect, which is
Yep.
one of my favorite Tetris games of all time.
This
Is
this
Tetris
deserves
DS.
this. Yeah, Tetris DS. I got that. This deserves a like that Studio Ghibli book that you reviewed last
Yeah,
time, a couple
yeah.
weeks ago. This deserves a tabletop book of that because there are so many versions that you can't fit them on a cart. You can't fit them on a
Yeah.
disc. You would need like a whole freaking library.
Well, and that's
You could get a cool book put together of all these
yeah.
different versions. That could be neat.
One cool thing I will say is that they don't really skim past. Like, just because they don't have the licenses to things doesn't mean you can't talk
Sure.
about things in a historical context. Like,
Sure.
I can't include the Pokemon Tetris game that they released for the Pocket Pikachu 2.
Yeah.
Like, because back you used to be able to put cartridge, like the Pocket Pikachu 2 had
Yep.
like cartridge, like, but there's a picture of it. They've included in there, and it's like, yeah, they worked
Cool.
with Nintendo direct.
Cool.
Nintendo and the Tetris company are just intrinsically linked, and every few years there's going to be something that Nintendo and Tetris work together on.
Yeah.
And I think Hank says it, but it might have been Alexi in this. But it was, some people say that without the Game Boy there is no Tetris, and others will say that without Tetris there is no Game Boy. And honestly,
So
it's just a situation that both are true. It's both. It's that Game Boy Tetris is
still masterful. Master.
As far as I'm concerned, the perfect video game. I
think so too.
I don't have a lot. Everyone I know
infinitely replayable. That, I mean, it's Tetris has, you mentioned it for yourself, it's got a very special place in my heart because that was I was 11. No, when was it? Game Boy came out in 89.
89.
So I was 10 when the I was 11. Maybe I was 11. When the Game Boy came out, and I wanted it for Tetris because you couldn't get Tetris anywhere. I mean, it was not on any devices that were readily available to us because it came out for the NES like a couple years after.
The Tengen Tetris came out at around the same. It's a whole. They go into it in detail. They go into it in
but
detail.
It wasn't like Tetris was portable. Tetris is where Tetris was because that's what everybody wanted to play. And so it drove me to portable gaming because I freaking loved it. I think there was probably like an LCD version around the time as well. But portable Tetris is what got me into portable gaming, and I wouldn't be in love with my Switch today, and my Steam Deck today if it wasn't for portable gaming. So
and if you
I'm gonna pick this up.
If your handheld device doesn't have Tetris or has a bad version of Tetris, it's not going to survive.
Come on, Playdate. Playdate.
There's some good Tetrises on Playdate.
Even perfect. Yeah. Tetris likes.
Cool. Really,
and this is out today. Give me that physical copy though, because I want that.
Yeah, I want all of these. Like, it's kind of weird that
we talked about that.
Have it yet. They tease it, but nothing's come to fruition yet.
Yep.
I don't know what the deal is.
Come on, guys.
But yeah, come on, gimme.
Just that first